Hi class! Welcome back. Now, we are going to have another new lesson for today. And that is the nervous system part 4, the endocrine system. In our previous presentation, we were able to identify the different parts of the brain, including its hemispheres. Now, we are going to focus on the endocrine system. Now let's go to the next page. Now let's define first what is endocrine system. The endocrine system is a system of internal secreting glands. Their sections are called hormones. So when we say endocrine system, we are pertaining to secreting glands. So this is a system of glands. All right? And these glands secrete hormones. Now let's define what is hormones. Hormones are biologically active substances responsible for function of different organs. So the hormone's basic function is actually release substances to make the other parts of our body function. So that is the hormones. Now, the glands is divided into two. We have the central glands and the peripheral glands. So again, that's the central and the peripheral. Now let's go first to the central glands. So the central glands is composed of hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and the pineal gland. While the peripheral glands is composed of the thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal, gonads, and pancreas thymus. Now let's go to it one by one. Alright, so now let's define hypothalamus. In our previous presentation, I was able to define what is hypothalamus. Now let's locate its position. Hypothalamus is located in the brain just below the thalamus. It functions as part of both the nervous system and the endocrine system. So like what I've mentioned, and my example in our previous presentation is hypothalamus is responsible in romance and connection, right? Like my example, I love you from the very bottom of my hypothalamus instead of the heart, because hypothalamus is the one who actually makes us feel that feeling, all right? Hypothalamus is just one of it. All right, so hypothalamus, that's why it's called hypo, because it's just below the thalamus, all right? It's just below the thalamus, and it functions as both in the nervous system and in the endocrine system. Now let's go to pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is located in the brain at the end of the stalk from the hypothalamus. So if there's the hypothalamus, if you can see the hypothalamus, it's just at the end of it, and what's on the end of it is what we call the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is located in the brain, and it is also the major hormone in the endocrine system. Again, it's the major hormone in the endocrine system. Its function is basically on the growth and development of other endocrine glands. So, in the latter part of this presentation, we are going to discuss other glands in the endocrine system, and the one that is responsible for its growth and development is what we call the pituitary gland. Now let's go to posterior pituitary. The posterior pituitary gland secretes two hormones that are produced in the hypothalamus. We have the antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin. All right, now let's go first to the antidiuretic hormone. I'm not sure if I pronounce it right, antidiuretic or antidiuretic. I think it's antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, is a hormone that helps control fluids inside our body, like, for example, our blood pressure, the volume of our blood, or the blood volume, its flow, how many, and also our urine. Okay, so the antidiuretic hormone is responsible for the balance of fluid inside our body. And then we also have the oxytocin, or what they called the cuddle hormone. Okay, and also this is called the love hormone. Okay, so it is called it's called the cuddle hormone or the love hormone because this oxytocin is responsible, or yes, is responsible for the feeling of like the butterflies in our stomach feeling when you are hugging someone or you're getting near your crush or something. All right, but most of the time oxytocin is being activated when you hug someone. So even though that's your favorite dog or your loved one or you're just simply your friend, the one or the hormone that is responsible for you to feel that feeling excuse me, is what you call the oxytocin. Now let's go to the pineal gland. The pineal gland is located between the two lobes of the thalamus. All right, so it is responsible for the regulation of the circadian rhythm of our body, meaning the circadian rhythm of our body is the 24-hour cycle of our body during the night and day. So basically, the pineal gland is responsible for the 24 hours cycle of our body. So whether that's in the morning or at night. So this pineal gland is the one that is responsible for us to just simply wake up to the common time when we wake up, or when we are already tired. Okay, so pineal gland is one of the that's one of the responsibilities of the pineal gland. Next, we have the thyroid gland. Thyroid Thyroid gland is an irregularly shaped gland that has two lobes connected by a thin bridge in between the isthmus. Isthmus. Okay, I'm not sure if I've pronounced it right. Isthmus or isthmus. Okay, okay. So it is located in the neck on either side of the trachea and across its anterior surface. So the thyroid gland is responsible to make the cells in our body work properly. I'm not sure if you are familiar with people. I believe some people have problems with thyroid gland. That's why they become very fat because they are suffering with what we call the thyroidism. But going back, the thyroid gland is responsible to make the cells in our body work properly. Okay, so that's why other people, for example, some people who has a thyroidism tends to be fat, very fat, unusually fat. Okay, because that's due to their thyroidism. It means that the cells in their bodies are not working properly uh, as it should be. Okay, so the main purpose of the thyroid gland is actually to make the cells in our body work properly. All right, and then we have the parathyroid gland. The parathyroid glands are four tiny glands located on the posterior surface of the thyroid gland, two on each lobe. So that's parathyroid. I think it's above, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, it's above on the surface of the thyroid gland. Okay, the parathyroid gland controls calcium within the body. So, or I'm sorry, not within the body, but exactly, specifically on the blood. Okay, so it controls calcium within the blood. Okay, so the parathyroid gland is responsible, or it is the one that controls the calcium within the blood. Next, we have the thymus gland. The thymus gland is a pink gland with two lobes located in the thoracic cavity posterior to the sternum. Large during childhood and puberty, but shrinks during adulthood. Okay, so the thymus gland is located in our neck as well. So I mean not on the neck, but towards our heart rather, towards our heart. Okay, so that's the gland towards our heart, or near our heart, and on the the posterior of the sternum. All right, so the thymus gland is only active until puberty, okay? And then when we get older, until adulthood, it becomes fat. Okay, so yeah, all right. And then we have the pancreas. Pancreas is located posterior to the stomach in C-like duodenum. All right, so it has two functions as well. So it functions as the digestive exocrine gland and a hormone. So when we say digestive exocrine gland, they are the ones who break, okay, who break the food, it's small particles into the necessary nutrients that is needed inside our body. So they are the ones who are responsible for it. And also, it works as a hormone. Next, we have the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland or adrenal glands, it is a paired triangular glands over the superior end of each kidney. Each gland has an outer layer, which is the cortex, and an inner layer, which is the medulla. Each layer functions independently of the other and secretes its own hormones. So basically, the adrenal gland is composed of the two. Yes, it's two, which is on the outer we have the cortex, and then in the inner we have the medulla. And each of this gland function is they secrete its own hormones. Okay, so they work independently. And then, of course, we have the ovaries and the testes. So the ovaries, these are small egg-shaped glands located in the pelvic cavity, function as part of both the female reproductive system and the endocrine system. So the ovaries is, of course, can be found in the female reproductive system. They are the one who produces the ovum or the egg cell. All right, and then it is not only present, or it does not only function in the reproductive system, but it is also an endocrine system. So that's why other females, other males experiences different kind of moods because of the ovaries having not only function on the reproductive system, but also as an endocrine system, also in the endocrine system, which composed of different hormones. Yes, different glands producing hormones rather. All right, and then we also have the testes, that is the male genital glands located outside the body in the scrotum. So the testes, it is found in the male reproductive system, and it is located in outside the body in the scrotum. All right, so here are the major endocrine glands. So a while ago, I was able to describe its location, but basically these are the major ones, okay? So in the left part, we have the the male glands, and then we have on the right part, we have the female. So on top, you can see the pineal gland, and then we have here the pituitary gland, which is the major gland. We have the thyroid gland, okay, so that's found in the neck. We also have the adrenal gland, the pancreas, okay, it's it's near and above the pancreas. So in the picture, it shows it's above the pancreas. And then we have here, of course, the ovaries for the ladies, and then we have the testes for the male or the gentleman. All right, so that's the major endocrine glands for both male and the female. Okay, so this is just a summary of the endocrine system. So we have here the gland, the hormones, the type, which is so little, I don't know where, I can't read it that much, and then its action. Okay, so I've mentioned most of it already in our discussion, but here's just a preview of it. So I'll be giving you a few minutes just to look at it. Okay, so I'll be giving you at least 1 minute of free no sound of me, just for you to check this part. Alright, so that's 1 minute. So if it's still not enough, I do suggest that you just pause this video and then look at it one by one. But I believe since I got it online, you can also check it in Google. Okay, so you can just check it out and then just read through it. Okay, so most of the yes, most of the glands, I believe all of it. I think all of it I've already mentioned in this video. All right. So that's the endocrine system, the glands, its hormones, the type, and its action. All right. So that's the last part of our video. Yes, this is the last slide rather. Okay. So if you have any questions, please let me know. We already have our chat box in Facebook Messenger. So please drop me a message if you need clarifications or opinions about this one. Okay, so thank you very much. And I'll be seeing you on our next video. Thank you. Bye for now.